Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Port Olisar and Star Citizen PTU 3.0. Now, PTU 3.0 is the first version of the game to hit the PTU, and it's nowhere near feature complete. It's basically a stress test of the game and some of the game systems which are used in 3.0. Now, it has to be said that there are a lot of bugs in the build, and thanks to the Delta patcher, we've already had a couple of new versions of the build, and that has actually improved and got rid of some of the bugs we've seen early on. But there's still a lot there, and some of you may well have a frustrating experience. I know that sometimes I have. But at other times, especially when you're flying down seamlessly from space onto one of these moons, well, it's basically pretty awesome. Anyway, let's have a close look at some of the things I've seen so far in my early days in PTU 3.0. Well, it's been a few days since I recorded that intro. I'm pretty busy at work at the moment, and to be honest, I've been coming home and literally falling asleep in my chair. But in between that, I've managed to play a few times on the PTU, and as I said earlier, there's been a few updates which has improved some of the stability. But of course, there are bugs, and anyone playing the PTU at the moment, well, you're there to actually test the build and report those bugs on the issue council, which I've actually done a few of those. But well, when you get playing at the 3.0 as we've got it at the moment, it is still impressive, but as I said earlier, sometimes frustrating. But over time, hopefully, things will gradually smooth out. Now, I don't think we're going to get a 3.0 general release, well, anytime soon. I think it does need a lot of polish, but I might be wrong. Anyway, one thing you'll notice when you spawn into the new Port Olisar is that it's inhabited by some, well, NPCs, some AI, and they're doing some very basic subsumption. They've not got much of a brain at the moment, but they do help to actually populate the area. Now, we're familiar with the ship terminals where you choose your ships at Port Olisar, but they've obviously had a graphical update, and the way you choose your ships have changed, and you can also see how you can actually claim your ship if you happen to well, get it destroyed, or as it has happened in my case quite a lot, basically when the game has crashed, the ship has well, disappeared with the crash, and you have to actually claim the ship back on insurance. You can actually pay more to, obviously it's not real money, I should stress that, it's in-game money, to actually expedite the insurance claim. Now, I've seen some great videos the last few days, and I know they've probably taken the maker quite a lot of time to actually make these videos, because I've only actually succeeded myself in landing on one of the moons once, and I've tried quite a few times, but I must admit I've enjoyed every time I've actually tried doing that. Now, my first successful landing was actually on Yella, and well, I was a bit disappointed at first that I actually landed on well, when the part of Yella was in darkness, but it's actually a pretty breathtaking sight when you actually land in the dark, because it does really show up the actual fidelity of the of space, and obviously the look of the game has changed a lot more fidelity and polish in the background of space. Now when I landed on yellow, there seemed to be some other players there as well, and I was a little bit worried that I was going to actually be killed by somebody on the surface, but they seemed to disappear. Maybe they logged off, because when I actually got outside the ship, well, there was pretty much nobody around. Now I managed to actually get into one of the little outposts. It was like an emergency shelter, and obviously I must also stress that at the moment some of the textures in the game on planets, and obviously in buildings and the environment in general, aren't actually at the top level, which they will be in the finished build. I actually saw that in the patch notes, but they still look pretty impressive. Now 3.0 is still actively being worked on. It's still in development, and what we've had on the PTU is just a well, you could say it's just a glimpse of what the game will be. Now we've just had the monthly report, and we can see that various mechanics in the game are still being worked on, and it's especially on the network side which has got to be one of the big priorities going forward for CIG, because without a stable network environment, well, there won't be a persistent universe. And when you're dealing with a massive galaxy and with these humongous ships, well, the networking has to be one of the priorities going forward, and they're still actively working on that for 3.0, as some of the problems we've seen in the game has mainly been due to bugs within the network infrastructure and to do with the servers, and that's especially applicable to bad frame rates. So until next time, wherever you're watching, out in that big universe, you take care, and hopefully I'll see you all sometime soon. Bye for now.